Audio good? What going on here? What going on here? All this set and nice, set and fancy thing, and I must say thanks to Runs, thanks to Mommy for she little inputs. Sash, boss lady, she didn't have much of her input, but she was just here finding all of the faults and calling shots. She and Runs had a little argument and thing. Yeah, Runs on the scene with we now. So yeah, as promised, I was mentioning last week in a post that this May month 2021, I'll be celebrating 10 years in media. But I think before I got there, yeah, I saw switchy unprofessional work ethics, doing something live here, and her phone on loud and tunes going on. River now running the back to put his own on silent. Ron's now started work with us, and Ron's a little more disciplined. But Sasha and River are custom sabotaging me, so that is not a problem. I could take that, right? So yeah, as we were saying, yeah, I will try to make it as funny and kicksy as possible. So it kind of long, and I don't want to be too boring. So we were speaking about the 10 years in media, but before getting there, it had a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, and I think on posting a couple of friends reached out to me as well, and it was like, bro, you should really do something like that when you're going live, send me the link, because they know where I would have come from, and some of the battles and some of the challenges, I face. So I'll try to see as much as possible how I could lay it out in steps, as the years went by, from where I started. So after junior sec, now we were never rich. Mommy tried hard. So upon completing 14 plus, I entered Arima Senior Comp, and off the bat, I selected trade. I wasn't too interested in the POB, the POA. How likes is now how people do things for likes and the social media hype. That's how POA and POB was back then. But I wasn't on that hype. I selected a trade, and I ended up doing getting through with carpentry. Well, actually, I was looking for subjects that didn't have CXE maths and CXE English. I was no fan of maths. Them set up pi and square and rectangle, and nah, I wasn't. Them things never agreed with me. So fortunately, carpentry didn't have maths. It didn't have maths, but it had a lower grade of maths. I think that was calculations and trade under NESC, not CXE. So yeah, on entering senior comp, the first week or two, I reached out to my parents and I was mentioning to them, well, this is the trade I selected, and I would like to, partake in, working in a woodwork shop, or where I could get practical knowledge from at that young age, 14 years. So I was waiting on my father. Yeah, I was waiting on my father, but I would have still be waiting all now if I didn't reach out to Prakash in Benny Singh Street. And I made a few days there with him. And then after, well, it became an issue. Father had a problem. He weren't there from the beginning to reach out to anyone to assist me with the practical knowledge and getting into a woodwork shop. But he was there when, I took it upon myself and went to learn the trade. So he had a problem. He said, no, I didn't want you to go there. I want you to go here. It's all right, use the boss. So he took me to this woodwork shop, not too far from which part we was living. And, I started learning trade there. And money was never a problem. And when, P started to run, my salary was $10 a day. $10 a day. Now, I didn't hold on to that for too long, because at some point in time, I was always telling myself I wanted to play cricket at the highest level. And I had to make a sacrifice where, on weekends I wanted the time to play the cricket. At that time it would have club cricket, zone cricket, school cricket. Even at that young age, I was already here in talks of they wanted me to captain the team. So I said, well, you know what, forget this $10 a day, this woodwork thing. I will just focus on my cricket, focus on my game, and see how we go from there. So with that being said, with the woodworking, keeping with the woodwork. At some point in time, one of my friends, a teammate, he was telling me, well, he working in a woodwork shop and they do different stuff and that kind of thing. And the first day I worked there, now this was a different place, from $10 a day now, they were paying $25 a day to learn the trade. So I just made one day. The job there was sanding coffins. Ronald might laugh in the background. Sanding coffins. And that didn't agree too well. It had a bossy kind of fella there. And I think I wasn't that type to go wrong. I mean, you could be a boss and you had to learn to talk to people as well. So I just made one day there, and that was it. Again, I back off for the woodwork. I say, well, fuck it. I will just proceed with, going on with trying to learn cricket and better myself at cricket. So, I had a couple of good seasons in cricket, and then, well, upon reaching completion of senior comp, there were discussions with me repeating, coming back. At that point in time, sports students who took part in sports and represented the school, they had an option to repeat. They would have probably about a certain number with certain academic qualifications as well as they did with sports. And I was one of the person, and they was telling me to come back. But I had some issues. It was a very unfortunate situation. And I did take a break from cricket. And I said, well, forget it. And I didn't complete the season. But even though I didn't complete the season, they already had me on a list to come back and play cricket. The challenges I had with this particular person and all the negative things they would have said. At some point in time, I told myself, when I leaving, I had to leave Alrima Senior Comp with a good name. And today I'm proud to say that, I had the opportunity to captain the team again after repeating. And we reached the finals. Unfortunately, things didn't go our way in respect to gaining victory. But at a personal performance, I left with it's always a pleasure for any bowler in any form of cricket to take 5 wickets, and I left with a 5 up to today. I think despite the issues with so and so before, and it was resolved, I told myself, oh yeah, I even took a best sketch too. For those who know, I was feeling backward point with my big fat self. Them days I was, as a slim dude now, yeah, feeling backward point and a right hand, I rock back and he cut. And them days I wish if it had cameras and video and thing, but say what, that's quite 2004 we're talking about. So nevertheless, and I was out front, and well, as time go along, you'll understand how straightforward I was from way back, and there are things I will settle for and things I just wouldn't settle for. But yet still I try to be fair in the whole situation. Now, the person wasn't fair to me at all, and it was a very... Oh God, Sash, every time you're doing a professional recording, you load on the phone or some kind of thing now. Gosh. Barack, poor people again, eh? Yeah, so the senior teacher now, my form teacher was asking me why it is I not coming back, or if I am interested in coming back to repeat. And I was like, no. I say it had an incident with the management of the cricket team, and I wasn't too pleased about it, how it went down. And under no circumstances, I will come back to repeat. I say better, I'll give somebody, another student, the chance or the opportunity to come back. Because under that nonsense, I wasn't going back. But fortunately enough, the teachers understand the situation. And yes, management did change, stuff did change up. And I was back to school repeating cricket. Now, mommy always wanted me to be occupied. So even before the repeat was confirmed, she had already signed me up for YTEP. Now, when I speak about YTEP, this will link to the other episode of employment and a different environment and workplace. So in working YTEP at 16 years, I was literally ahead of the class. And basically, most of the stuff the teachers would be teaching, and I would just stay quiet, and when time to answer, most of the time I would be on point. But there was this guy who was part of the class, also the owner of a workshop. So he had asked me to come work with him, and we always make jokes and had fun with each other. So always the class clown kind of thing. So I always, not just on Facebook, I keep you all entertained here, but this goes from way back as well, with the class and the teachers and the fun and the monkey thing and the kicks thing. So this guy approached me and asked me, well, he say I have a wood workshop, and if it is, I'll be interested. We could work together We could learn stuff. I said, no. I said, I will teach you stuff. And so he was joking and saying, well, he will teach me stuff and we'll exchange ideas. I started to exchange my ideas just so. So,
I also, during school time, I also had the opportunity to meet the great, the Prince of Port of Spain, Brian Lara. I wasn't supposed to go to school that day, and I ended up in school. And only upon reaching the school, we heard, well, Lara and some other celebrities was some other sporting superstars was coming to the school. And speaking of opportunities, again, another golden opportunity that, I was probably supposed to miss and just didn't miss, and it turned out the way that it was just meant to happen. After the speeches and stuff and the address, coach was like, "You're the captain of the team. You met with Brian." I was like, "No, I feel in shame." Yeah, always the shame, kind of shy. He was like, "Boy, behave yourself." And upon meeting Brian Lara, at that point in time, gears was a real scene, cricket gears and cricket equipment. The standard of the gears, it wasn't so up to par. And I approached Brian Lara for some gears, and I could say today that in no time, within a week or 2 weeks, we got our gears. The gears was supplied to us, obviously. I'm not going to call no names, but certain men left with some grey nickels and some bat and some grey nickels was a big thing back then, yeah, fellas. All the young men are more accustomed with the SG and the Puma. We didn't have them thing back then. It was either grey nickels or gun and more on your pumping. So I must say, in school, meeting Brian Lara was a golden opportunity. Actually, having that kind of discussion with him, and he wished me good luck as the captain and stuff. It was really a pleasure, and I must say I'm thankful for that opportunity as well.
after the first two places of employment, there was this, in most villages, the real legends of the village or the area or the community, however you may call it. There was this guy by the name of Mr. King. May he rest in peace. He's not with us anymore. He was doing woodwork right in the back of, right literally a wall away. And mommy had asked him for me to come and learn trade. And upon the first couple of days working with Mr. King, the vibes, the environment, the way he did things, I mean, he's not here, he has passed on, and I could say up to this day, Mr. King never spoke rough to me or buff me, or yes, there were times I made mistakes, and I would have made errors learning woodwork, but it was really fun. And this, I started to notice, well, now is not just about working, but being comfortable and working in your own comfort zone, yet still working for a salary where you would have been comfortable with. Because the first week, Mr. King asked me about my salary. He was like, 60 a day good? So I was like, no, I'm not a customer at 60 a day. I say you could pay me 40 a day, seeing that I now start. Because mommy always never wanted us to get sweet and, get hooked on money. It was never about the money. In the first place, she never even wanted us to work, as poor as we was. So that was my habit. So instead of $60 a day, I was working for $60 a week. So $60 a day with Mr. King was totally acceptable to me. And I really enjoyed it, but he used to give me tasks at that young age, and it's something that I still look forward to, sometimes you will see cupboards in people's house, and you could actually look back at it and say, this is what you created, this is what you worked on from scratch, from like nothing. And it was really a good feeling, to look back at your work, because one of my tasks was actually after the shelves, cabinet, cupboards that were completed. My task was to vanish the sand ceiling, hang up the doors, and it was really a pleasure sitting and looking back at these things. Sometimes you go back to people's house to do something at a different job. Sash, not that way thinking. To do a different job, and you will look back at and say, hey, 3 years ago I built this, I work on this. So it was really a nice feeling. But upon completing senior comp, I wanted a rougher side of work. This is where I would have entered construction. This would have been 2004. Yeah, so after my sucking, I said, well, the sand sealer and the chemicals was giving me some issues. I had some issues with that. And I think it had a day I was working on some cupboards and the environment wasn't enclosed and I literally knocked out. Yeah, so I realized the sand sealer and the chemicals were affecting me. So I wanted to be more part of the construction thing.
Let me know if I'm too boring or no. If I'm too boring, oh, just let me know. No.
Overruns, you start the shipping this and all too. Petal, you call your girl, give her 5 minutes, they be wrapping up there just now. She ain't gonna get on it.
Nah, she cool.
She cool? Next thing she post them up and blast them up and thing on Facebook, Yes, sir, she ain't gonna like nothing better than that. So, upon completion of senior comp, I started construction. After the chemicals were affecting me, I said, well, I could try the construction thing, the rougher work world, they always say construction and industrial language. Well, I think I mentioned it in the post. If some of you all not too familiar with the up scenes, there are some things and some experiences that explain in the construction pattern. So I could call colors or put on headphones or mute too. Right, so in Whitep, people might have seen and they might have seen potential and things. So this guy was like, he wanted me to do some to work with him in his shop. And I mentioned it to him, I say, I'm not able with this chemical thing, but I say if it's the bill and thing, I say it's nothing. I say this chemical seal and this sand seal and all them set of shit. I said that is not agreeing with me now. So he insisted and I come and I went to his shop and I started working and what I liked there was that I was at a young age, I was going to do much more stuff. I was going to really test my skills and test my talent in woodwork and cabinet making itself. Close to Christmas now, a woman had asked for a little decent 3-door kind of cupboard top and bottom space saver thing the older folks could say, right? So I always like to hear what you want to do and how you want to do it before I could say how I want to do it. So he was like, well, we building so and so, and I will go buy young things and we'll buy the doors. So I said, why are you going to buy the doors? I say, I have a router. He say, yeah. I said, well, listen. I say, we'll use the router and we will make the doors. So you cut in cost instead of buying the doors, right? I say, tick. I say, I teach you something there, you learn something. So he just laughed it off. And well, after the job was finished, I asked, I say, what the woman say, boy, she like the thing or what going on? He said, boy, that woman was really disappointed, boy. Well, anytime you tell him you're disappointed, you have to come with a nice excuse or come with whatever fault you're finding, make sure it's not shit too. Because some people is finding a real shit fault and feel that is relevant now. You understand? It has some faulty people. I don't mind you being faulty, but you want to be faulty, be relevant. Don't be irrelevant. Right? So I asked him, but like he was shocked and I asked him what the woman was disappointed with. He might be feel like, I said, well, just forget that the woman disappointed and I do something wrong. I said, what she disappointed with? He said, no, boy, everything was good. He laughed it out. I said, all right then. So you have our next project. Our next project came up. A bigger home system for for TV, for DVD player. Them time DVDs was the scene. No flash drive and them thing. So he laid it out on a piece of paper. He started the job actually and end up in problems. So he was telling me about we got Tifa side here and Tifa half side here. Now listen to this, I want to listen to this whole part, right? We Tifa half side here, Tifa thing. I say, hey. I say, you can't thief. I say, all that thiefing. I say, you might go in jail with all that thiefing. I say, you can't thief no half-inch here and half-inch there. And the front will line up and look like shit. I say, you can't do that. I say, you don't worry yourself. I know I cut in, I fit in, whatever. Now, honestly speaking, this is the first time I'm doing something like this. First time I'm doing something to say that I build in a home system like this from scratch. But I don't analyze in my head what's going on. Boy. So I said, alright, no scene. So I started to make advancement, cutting, things started. Now we reach a certain point now where it's just for the sand sealing. Now I tell them, I say about the sand sealing. I say, I'm not doing that now. You can handle up. Now, obviously at that point in time I work in construction too. I working by him in the evening. As I say, any little extra dollar, any little opportunity to not be home. You understand? That was a cool thing for me. I just hate being home around. I didn't want to say nothing. Right? So, okay. So, we reach the point with the sand sealing and stuff. So, I say, buddy, if you're sand seal that now, well, you know, you hurry now. Christmas coming. Plenty things to do. And, you know, just the hustle now. So you hurry to sand seal and hurry to finish. I say, partner, I say if you're sand sealer now, it's going to get white. And you have to sand back that down, straight down to the board. Nah! The place, the sun hot still. It's now 4:30. I say, yo. I say the breeze blowing cool. As them time is 2003, 2004. Them time had real Christmas breeze. You ain't gonna get them thing now as much. So I say, yo, the place blowing cool, boy. This was my birthday, the 23rd of December. I never worked that day for my birthday. I went out to work with him to help him finish up stuff. Right? I say my leader for the next day now, but I say everything done finished already. I say just the sand seal and that thing. He start to spray, he get excited. It looking good, boy, looking nice. I tell him Bali was it, man. I say, watch and see that thing going and get whiter. Hey, how you know that? I say by the temperature, boy. I say, he say, boy, looking good, the whole thing looking good. I say, the sand seal, I draw it. I say, let you go ahead. Well, before he reach 3/4, it started to get white and milky. I say, yo, I say, going on the road, you know. I say, you ain't going to expect me to help sand back there because I tell you, do not sand seal. You insist on sand sealing, right? When you end up in that problem, now you vex because I go along the road. Now I finish that. I push real work. I working late till 9, 10 o'clock in the night, telling myself, well, why Christmas come? I mean, about 16, 17 years, you gain a man all that forward, all that effort. You say, well, you know, your Christmas, nice. Star boy come by me Christmas Eve day. Well, that'll be the day after my birthday. I see, well, you know, he going and hit me a nice digit because I finished the job. You know, he that pay me job now. How much days I work. That dog, that time he paid me what, $35, $40 a day. Now I could have skin around, and instead of taking 3 days or 4 days, I could have taken about 6 or 7 days to finish the work. Now. I push the work for you, I finish the work for you. I tell myself, I say, nah, boy. I say, see what that man do me there? I say, I feel like good with woodwork there, boy. I say, and you know, the sad thing is that I work in construction. I happy with the construction. I don't need the wood, I don't need that extra thing, you know. You understand? I say, I helping you. I enjoying the fact that I get to do things. And that way you do me. You make me push our work and finish our work for you. Right? And then you come in and ask me how much days. I say, nah, boy, that was better. That was nice. But all them things was part of, you know, learning and growing up. And as I go along and mention certain things, you realize how all these things fell back. How I was in, you know, similar positions later on. And I was able to rectify and, you know, to deal with the situation. So that was literally the end, and I literally put a stop there to woodwork after that kind of treatment. Although report me, I can't get banned again. Yeah, so the first year construction, a good friend by the name of Bali. Some of you all in Five Rivers will be familiar with this character here. Look, he on screen here right now. That's the guy. Bali took me to construction. In the golf course. This was the golf course that was in Trinity. The first day we went, there was this fat guy, a fat man. His name was actually Fat Man. So Bali didn't work a day or two before, and there was an issue. So before even Bali reached and introduced me, well, as the guy he brought to work, Fat Man started to curse, you know, what if so and so. If all you want to work, or if all you want to go to school, make up all your fucking mind. So I was like, how you could talk to somebody, a young person, you know, a young aspiring person. Bali would have been doing his courses in business and things, yet still trying to make it in life, work in construction. And this is the way a foreman would react to a worker. Nah, man. I had Fat Man in mind, and I know we would have cross-thread later on. And I was this quiet one in construction. Cool, you know, now finished school. First day I work in construction on the golf course. Our job was to full basket actually building the riverbanks. We did about 7 bridges there in that golf course, and it was building back a riverbank. And I can remember working in waist height water. Yeah, waist height water in the river were running from like prisoners coming down running to the golf course through Twin City. Yeah, that was the job. Had to do it.
You know, this where it all started, you know, the golf course. I could tell you about this golf course from when it was pond, when it was lagoons, you know. So I really had some good times here. This is where we shoot. I will show some, you know, this is where we shoot some of the bridges and stuff. I could tell you this bridge was properly structured, properly built, you know, with specs. You know, it had no hurry thing and no halfway thing. As always, I give credit where credit is due. And look, as you could see for yourself, after so long, this bridge was constructed in 2004. After so long, the bridge still standing, no cracks, nothing. You know, so that was another part of construction and another highlight of where it all begun for construction in general.
I did never have a tall boots. I went to work. The first day in my school shoes. So I was like, this is what this job is about, boy. All right then, so as time went along, we started learning new things, learning different things. Construction, I started enjoying the job. See, it still been the quiet one. It had this big, strong guy by the name of Mr. Lewis. Apparently, everybody on the job had a certain way they couldn't talk to Mr. Lewis or respond to him or something like that. But sabotage was a normal thing, you know, not just with Revon and Sasha. You know, this is something I accustomed with workers doing from way back. So someone put diesel in the motor for Lewis, where he was working, smoothing out some curb and slipper drain. Unknowing to me, I fill the bucket, I carry the motor for Lewis. And, well, while he was rubbing out, he realized, well, every time he rubbing, the motor falling back down. So, Lewis started to curse me. Yo, you're so-and-so, you didn't see the fucking diesel in the thing? And why it is I bring it like that and I'm making your work look bad? So, I left him to say what he had to say, just being the quiet one everybody know me as. You know, when I waited for him to finish talking, so I decided to question him. I say, who the fuck you feel you're talking to? I say, if the bucket are diesel, I said that have nothing to do with me. I said, and furthermore, if you have a fucking problem to address, you wouldn't talk to somebody like that.
Yeah, so it's not just on Facebook, the mouth hot. The mouth hot from a long time.
So yeah, from back then, you know, as a kid, youth man, 17 years, no. I wasn't going through that with no worker or no boss man or whoever it was, right? So that was the end of me and Lewis. Me and Lewis, we were friends until I exited the construction. So, you know, I had some really good memories in construction after the golf course there, you know, super farm, the first super farm that was constructed in Trinidad. We worked there up to now when it had days for boat ride and we passed and I would show Sasha and say, you know, hey, we worked there, we paved. You know, all kind of hot sun, you know, rain falling, we working in asphalt. Once asphalt reached, snow could fall, you had to get the job done. So, yeah, Sasha does be blushing every time we pass Super Farm. She remember, man, think about, man. So, after Super Farm, you know, we worked in places like Cipriani College. We did the car parks and golf course by the True Value end there. So, construction was really something I enjoyed. It was fun. The cussing, you know, was real cool. I enjoyed the fact that, you know, somebody, if they feel they could have spoken to me in anyhow, I could have responded back the same way, whether it was the boss, whether it was the manager, whether who it was, you curse me, I curse you back. I learned that from construction. So it was really a good experience, you know, apart from the good experience when you're speaking of memories.
Yeah, so when I cussing and thing on Facebook or when I quarreling about when I see bad work and stupid work and thing, don't feel like I know my thing. From 16, 17 years, we had experience and, you know, first-hand experience dealing with bridges and stuff. So I know it's good work from bad work.
In 2007, I always wanted to work in a plant, see what a plant is like. And we did start off the year in Methanex. This was active, you know, sometimes the plants will be shut down. But this plant was an active plant. And what I enjoyed most about this job was that every day we had to get a work permit. Sometimes, you know, you call them at 7 o'clock to reach work at 7 o'clock, but the work permit would reach 10 o'clock, half 10 minutes to 11, and then lunchtime. You're still entitled to your full hour. That's just how it was done. So Methanex was cool. We worked there for a couple days building some tank stands. So I could say, working in a gas environment, an active, alive gas plant, was something that I wanted to experience and feel like what it is being in that environment. And it wasn't easy, it wasn't nice. I want to say hats off and kudos to all those plant operators out there, because I know it's rough. There's always say when you're going to a plant, you're not sure to come back out in pieces. And I did experience part of that, and being there itself. So that was the end of construction in Methanex. And then there was the World Cup, the 2007 World Cup, straight out of Methanex. And I think this was a really nice highlight, being around the cricketers as an aspiring cricketer myself. I can remember, I think it was Sean Pollock, all-rounder, top all-rounder in the world. I would have always wanted to meet, and it was just like a day we was tying fence, pulling wire, and they were passing, and he signed one of my bats, and I scored a 52 innings after or something. So I really appreciated the good luck and the opportunity meeting these players. Our job was when in Queen's Park Oval, while we were on standby, just in case anything went wrong, we did the fencing right around the perimeter of the oval. So our job was just that. And then, the whole hype about this World Cup and the cricket, honestly, I wasn't, as much as I like the game, I was like there close among the players, and not much anxiety or not much of a hype to me. Well, I didn't have Facebook to post pictures for likes and for reactions and comments and views and all them kind of things. So yeah, it was a normal scene now. But in this hype, my aunt, who resides in Barbados, through the company that she was working with, she got access to go and look at the finals in Barbados. Now, as a man, always like to save, and bad spending money and thing wasn't a thing for me now. I always watch how I spend, but I was in the process of selling my first vehicle and buying another vehicle. So the opportunity came to go to Barbados. I said, boy, I should have World Cup yesterday, small thing. Me ain't care for that. I like the game and thing, but I can't afford that. Me ain't going and fight up with that, man. So then, Nadine, yes, Nadine, thanks. Nadine, yeah, that is Nadine. She had a part to play in me getting into media as well. Nadine called me and buffed me. She said, hey, this opportunity is a once in a lifetime thing. You can't miss this. Forget the car, you could always buy a car. You wouldn't get to go, you don't know when you'll get to go and see a World Cup final, if it will be the same two teams, if it will be the same two players, the same two teams, the same caliber of players, you don't know. So take this opportunity. She said, and furthermore, the ticket that you're getting to go to the finals is worth more than your plane ticket to reach the Barbados. So I'm going to book the ticket and you organize yourself. So, under all the hype after, working around, I did get to go to the World Cup finals in Barbados, and that was really a good experience as well. I did enjoy it, and I want to say thanks to Nadine. You see, sometimes in life, I realized sometimes you think back about opportunities, and you might be like, if I did take that opportunity, if I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and there are opportunities that was given to me. And I could say up so far, I'm happy for the ones that I've chosen. And I'm thankful for it, because sometimes things may not be going your way, but you might get one opportunity, and from that one opportunity, you'll create other opportunities to come along. So while working construction, and I had my own vehicle, I never like to waste time and things. So I would have, on the free time, I would have gone work a little taxi, pull a little small, do a little yields, get a little Junes, get a little phone number. So that was a fun thing too for me now. Sometimes some of them taxi men, I big up all them klaxon with taxi men, boy. Some of them is a watch. The nice with you're traveling with them, the nice and the smooth, yeah boy, see the hill trace. But the day you jump out there with your own car, watch now. The watch and the look I get from some men, I swear, if looks could kill, I will not be here to sell no storyteller today. So I was working on the road and thing, and yet still working construction. But when I started seeing the money on the road, I started get kind of sweet on that road money, and seeing how easy it was. Sometimes in the morning, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I don't clock 100 or 150. There's plenty of money in them time. So I say, boy, this construction thing, taking all this, I say this early morning thing. I say, boy, I can get up and walk my car, you know. But I still didn't really leave. Feel it out and, you know, do different trials and, you know, sometimes on a weekend alone. I see how the weekend bumping. So in 2008 now, when I say, well, I really comfortable with the taxi vibes and, you know, the money I seen in the taxi thing, I feel I could make a decision and get this construction thing a rest. But I had a back injury, you know, kind of back pain. But that fat man brother, name was Jim. Let me tell you how Jim is operated. Jim only want to walk in trench. And when he go down in trench, he coming out, he going down with the bucket, with the tools, and he bottle of water. He ain't coming out there until lunchtime. Hand me this, hand me that, hand me this, hand me that. Now I tell Jim in a good way, I say, Jim, I say my back hurting. I say, if you could ease me. I say, well, not just ease me up. I say, your work, why does be doing, partner? I say, let me formulate a way where we could be fair with each other now. Because my back really gave me trouble. And you had to pull me out today. It's no lazy man thing. I tell Jim now, it's like it passed through 1 year and it going through the next years. Jim, hand me this, hand me that, hand me this. Now my back real pain, and whole day Jim hand me this, hand me that, and he just there and you know he give a shit about my back now. I say, here what fucking going on? I say, you know, you can't talk to them other workers and them just how you just talk, how you gonna do me and harm me. I say, I go in and take a rest. I say, well, stay the fuck home. I will work my taxi. I said, and you go work with whoever you had to work with. I said, you catch your ass. Watch and see something. I said, you're too wicked.
This is not for kids, eh? Well, you know, with the construction pattern thing, when it comes to construction language, you have to elaborate a little bit now. If probably, I ain't, you know, not too much of the proper language and the proper thing. That is why actually I'm not streaming it on my pages and I'm just using my personal account. This is more on me. So don't beat up with the little foul language and thing. That was part of the construction days. And if I bleep it, I was going to bleep it, but if I bleep it or if I blank it off or mute it off or then we ain't gonna get the real juice or the real punch out of it now. So I'll just bear with the little expletives. These big people.
So this Carnival Friday now, I went down Claxton Bay again. So let me see what you seen, mountain thing. I clock at 500. I say, Carnival Saturday, come out at 300. Carnival Sunday, I walk on. I said, I have gas money. Come up the road, come up Paruka, and well, Puna, Juve in the morning. Now, Rivon, you know what? You them time you maybe was still in primary school. So, you know, you didn't know about no truck and camera and thing them time. That time you studying what is them art and craft. I had to make the coloring book and them costume and thing. This I had to make for thing. Yeah, that was your speed around that time. So you don't watch nothing here. So that was the scene the year Carnival, and well, eventually I did give up the construction. Started work taxi and you know I was comfortable. But before I finished the construction, as I mentioned, while working construction, I used to always watch. I say, you know, I don't want to be old and having to mind a family, being a construction worker. Not that I have any issues with construction workers, but it was just good enough for me at that age, seeing how Fat Man had those other fellas. They had to respect him, and you know he could have talked to them how he want, and they had to respect that because some people literally never had a choice. So from back then I was looking at these things and you know telling myself, I don't wanna go through that. So I finished the construction, as I mentioned when I started. You know, Fat Man, how he dealt with Bali. I don't think I would have left without having a feast or having some discussions, some expletive discussions with Fat Man. So someday he was buffing up workers. You know, sometimes people, they had a mood, they come to work in a bad mood, and the workers have to pay for that. You know, the workers had to face your attitude and you could vent. So Fat Man was in a kind of no-nonsense mood, you know, going from here to there, this one, dealing with everybody, you know, everybody, you know, they had them boss and them managers and them who just come out every day and they're just dealing with everybody. Yeah. When Fat Man reached by me, we had it out. I say, yo, I say, catch your fucking self. I say, know who you are. I say, it's not Perkins and Lala and fucking Waste and, yeah, he did hit Waste a bucket of fish. They say, catch fish in the up in the Gulf was when they used to work, and he did hit Waste a bucket of fish. I say, if you feel like I'm fucking men with you, I say, catch yourself for now. I say, don't come on me with that. So, yeah, after the construction, I jump in full into the taxi, and well, this link now was a bad man. Yeah, people, the fat man, the do show. They were first foreman I was talking about. Who is the customer and fucked up and buff up and thing, but we still remain friends now, way. They part of the life. But he said treat my God on the walk and thing, eh? We used to drink and lime and all kind of fucking thing, eh? Or not only cuss, and only fuck up. He said treat my God, and we still partners up to this day. The construction and giving the construction a rest and saying goodbye to construction. Then came the band life. You know, being a bandman back then in 2008, that kind of life, you know, it was cool. You know, the night being out there playing on gigs. I was telling Sash, in some of the gigs we used to go in, you know, police used to have to escort us and things because the crowd was uncontrollable. You know, when they come in to greet us, and you know, girls coming to get our phone numbers. And you know, Facebook wasn't too popular just as the beginning when I started to play music. So you know, when you get a phone number, them time you get through, you're lucky. You're killing B-Mobile text 1 cent a day or 1 cent per text and thing. You know, no BBM and no WhatsApp and things. So you get through now. So the band life was cool. Yeah, I think I'm going back on bands and bands and bands where I played with and thing. But the experience there, you know, making money as a musician and the fun part of it as well. I was also enjoying this, and you know, just working taxi was comfortable enough for me. You know, just work during the morning period, then the evening period when people coming home. You know, when all the pretty women coming home from work and thing. So it was working taxi and being a bandman, a rhythm man in them days. You know, life was nice, it was comfortable. You know, it was a cool scene, just playing music on a weekend. You know, you had plenty of free time to lime and chit-chat, socialize and that kind of thing. While doing that, my uncle called me one day and told me, he said, why you want to work? You want to work over? I said, wait. He said, downstream. I said, with who? He said, SIS. So, God, boy. He said, what are you doing these days? I said, nothing. I said, I just walk on the road and when I have music, walk I play. He said, well, that better than staying home and doing nothing. So I said, I could try this SIS scene and this planting and, you know, this thing. So I went in as a helper. That was toots. That experience was crazy. I didn't like it. It was real crap for me. And I bust out. You had to reach, you're reaching to work for 6:30. You had to be on the job for 7 o'clock. You had to clock in by 6:30. So by 6 o'clock, you had to reach your work, eat, clock in, and by 7 o'clock, you had to go and rush and fight for lead, for welder. And but Real Men was on the needles in SIS too, eh? It had some man, I was talking about fat man just now in construction. It had next a big guy, Alligator. Yeah, that was his name in Real Men had afraid he too, boy. It had a day I sit down, well, I done line up my well line and run out lead, I done get current, everything. So I sit down, tick, 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 texting. I see a man running. You know, when you're in school and you're outside and you're supposed to be in class and principal walking around with a whip. Yeah, I see a man running down the road. He say, hey, boy, Alligator coming. I say, boy, fuck you and fuck Alligator, yes? I say, me and I had time, but I'm afraid Alligator. No, I don't do my work. I line up the welder. I line up my work. Why must I have to hide and not be in a relaxed mode when Alligator passing? Why I must have to fake and pretend that I in work mode and I so active? I said, dog, I said, I'm not going through that. But that only lasts about 10 days or something. I bust out. I went back on the road. The road was always a go-to. When I'm not doing nothing or when I want to make a little money, I go back on the road. So I jump out on the road and well, our next opportunity with the same place under a different company. So one of my uncle was a boss there. So he was literally running the work, running the job. Well, it's work in construction, you know, at time they say work and talk this proper language and this all this dialect crap and all them sort of thing. You know, so how to talk construction language. So I was working there as well, stores, seeing about the stores, all the equipment, stuff men signing out and thing. But I think that came to a halt up in the after about 6 weeks. But that pay was nice too. Boy. When the first salary I received there at $36 an hour. I mean, as a youth man, all you have is a car to study, buy a little food, bachelor life thing. Wherever a girl come, you buy a little candies, you buy a little snacks for them, a little KFC, yes, such candies used to work back then. So, you know, that was the scene now. When I see my pay, I see a 20 something, I say, eh. So I hold on to that job for a good while, but it came to a halt because of they were behind schedule. And I think the company that they passed on the job, I had some pictures, yeah, when I was working in the stores, I had some pictures in the plant. Well, you know, in the construction days around 2005, 2006, it wouldn't have phones and cameras and them things. So when I had my digital camera in 2000, didn't even think about being a cameraman here, but I work with the camera and well, had some shots running there when I was working in the plant. That's downstream. The experience was good and all too, no BBM, no WhatsApp, but I used to just sit down in the container, texting, text 1 cent per day. At this time, runs and them was going on lime. That when TV did now come out, it runs up in the Maxi and they going down in Queen Am. People like ants down there, so like, go ahead, me, I not lost no day work to go down there around all that crowd and all that bacchanal and I said, nah, I'll fix up, but I think they enjoyed it because I didn't hear them say anything bad. I know how much Gills runs pick up them days, them time with the little self. I think he was going to school. You remember the time? At time runs. When Mohawk now come out in the style now. I walking on the road there. So I see Starboy shine up now. If you see the wet dread Mohawk, and they are pictures at the end. Yeah, I got pop a picture for them. If you see the wet man Mohawk runs pumping man. I said, Soldier, where you going with that? So you going to school with that? He said, nah, I got slick it down, I got get through. I walk in taxi in the morning, I see Starboy waiting. I think he tried to travel with me that morning, self, eh? Yeah, me and he chit-chatting going down the road. I say, partner, I say, good luck, you know. He said, nah, them normal, them teachers and them ain't going to 10 o'clock runs mother come and waking me up. She say, we had to go in school, but run and get out of class. And then I let him go back in until he fly the Mohawk. But so I get a clean one, you know. If you see the one level he get. So yeah, runs on the scene. Right now, even at this, I as a person, I used to notice things, and I was always telling myself, I say, now the previous company gave up the contract to a new company. So under this new company, it was like a eat a food thing where I set a boss, I set a men who know what they're doing, commented to play boss and they gain big money, all kind of 52 and 60 an hour, and the men is shit. So I was asking myself, I say, why them men just wasting time, why them men, I say people like that just drain company and run down things. I mean, I don't assess that and thinking about that in my head. I say the men could pay more workers and get more manpower with the money they pay in these shit hongs, boy. And one set out of time and thing, and you know, so said, so done. The job came to a halt, where well we had to pass it back on the SIS to finish the job. And the company couldn't finish it because they were owing other workers. They owed me up I think about $6,000. That would be about 2 weeks or 3 weeks work. Yeah, they owe me about $6,000, and I just had to settle for nothing and just leave it as it is and say thank God, thanks for the experience. And that was it. I said, well, better I just rock back, and however music swing, I might pick up a old thing at an old woman. She might mind me. She might pick, you know, celebrity thing, you know. I have a band, man. You know, so she might mind me and fix me up and top my real good now. But that didn't work too well and all this. I said I'll just rock back with the band scene and the taxi scene, and just in between that, hey, big up the Ramsarans and all too. I passed through Ramsarans before the media thing. Yeah, it was just Ramsarans would have been actually the last company that I worked for before I say, well, you know, I fed up working for people and I could just do things on my own and that kind of thing. So after the Ramsaran scene, I say, well, by limit, I'm going and try this thing called buying car and gain man to walk on the road and that kind of thing. I said, let me see where this scene. I rake up and scrape up my little scrums. I buy a car. I get a fella a loose cannon from up inside Forest Park. He around still by runs with a character. That man, I get that man my car to walk with. That man call me and tell me, say, boy, I can't bring in nothing. You can't walk in. You can't thing it down. You know, I go in on a gig Saturday night. And I two cars, it was a purple accent. That was the only car was looking like that at that point in time. I watching that car, two cars behind me, in front of me. I said, well, look my car there. I telling the bird in the front. I said, my car there, you know. And if she well blushing and thing because she was a little impressed with me to know I had two cars, yeah, she feel a little special. So yeah, I say, yeah, girl, I say, look, that my car there. I said, that man fucking around. I say, how long I give he done? He telling me about once at a time. But I was cool too. I always had this cool, calm thing as much as I had this habit where I like things the right way and I want things to be done a certain way and thing. You know, I was cool and the experiences I had with bosses and thing. And well, with Fat Man and them men balling up on people and alligator and he had afraid them men and thing. I reach this point now that it's just not things I'm not going to settle for. And at that point in time, I was praying and hoping that one day I could be a boss. So one day I could be somebody that, you know, I have people working under me. And I could treat them good. I could be nice with them. I could talk to them and only cuss them when they have to, like Rivon when he did miss his shot the other day. And Sash tried to sabotage me with the flash and thing. That is the only time, you know, they could get a little F notes and a little C notes and that kind of thing. Yeah, but my thing was, you know, having for people to work with me and, you know, they could be happy, they could be comfortable and they could enjoy and looking forward. They don't have to study well, but I'm running at 10 minutes late and he going and get on and he going and coach. They don't have nothing like that. They working with me, they could see that, you know, despite all the sabotage they may attempt to make, you know, to make me look bad on social media and thing. We have, apart from that, you know, they're cool. They treat me good, I treat them good. And it's based on the experiences I had in the past. I told myself, I say, you know, hey, one day to come. So after Ramsarans, the delivery scene, I was afraid that too, you know, that was what, 2010? But I used to be scared because I had some kind of some Aru village. Hey, you're talking. I hear you know. Yeah, Sasha and them again and the stupid worthlessness again. You see how nice runs so down there? Petal might be done both up runs already, you know. Petal might be done watching the live and say, hey, do your work. So I say, well, you know, when I think I say Samaru village, Arima, I said I say now, boy, I said let me rock back from the sale. And them time the place was even half hot as now. I don't know how salesmen, I know it's dangerous and it's rough out there. I had that experience. I used to always say if anybody come for me to rob me, saying partner, you were going on. 2 hours poor. Actually, yeah. It had an instance I went up in a hot zone. And you see, sometimes it's good for people to know you to know people regardless if they good or if they bad. Somebody who know me from school was running a block. And I went up to sell Ramsarans peanut punch up there. And 2 or 3 youth men, they were coming. What are they, boy? What are they? And I just hear somebody, well, yo, hey, nah, all don't be on he. Because daddy soldier were running the scene. And he tell the troops, yo, don't be on that now. If it is probably they didn't know me, I might have take either, I might have tell them, yo, take the van. It have a vault there. Don't harm me, don't harm my loader. And all you go all your way. However, all you want to get out the vault, that is all your business. You understand? So, during working and selling Ramsarans peanut punch, this is where Vinod had met me. Big up to Vinod. Yes, that is Vinod. I'll pop a picture of him. Vinod is the guy who actually introduced me into media. So this is after I completed all the challenges, all the steps, all the crap with woodwork and this and that.
You know, sometimes life is so short as humans. You know, sometimes we leave this world without getting to share or really remember the memories and the different phases of life that we may go through. Yeah, folks, that was just part one. What I did, I compiled it in 2 parts. I know nobody going to sit down and watch no big long thing on Facebook and get boring. So that was actually the 10 years prior to working in media and the challenges. So in part 2, I'll see you guys where the actual journey of 10 years in media started in 2011. We out.